Okay, we are on camera, so we're good. I'd like to call today's meeting to order. It's the town board meeting for July 17th, 2018. Was to begin at 6 o'clock. It's now about 6:07, so we will begin today's town board meeting. If we could start by standing for the pledge. Bob, you want to lead us?
Sure. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'll now turn the meeting over to Mr. Wooten.
As we do every meeting, we start our meeting with an invocation, and we always call on somebody from our community, from the faith community, and we're very pleased to have with us today the Reverend Lorraine DeArmond.
Thank you, and thank you for inviting me. I bring greetings from the entire Riverhead Clergy Council. Let's pray. Lord God, I give you thanks for all the folks who are here who have committed themselves, either for this evening or for a lifetime, to the betterment of town and community. Help each of us to conduct ourselves this evening with integrity, to speak with honesty and compassion. Give us as much wisdom as we need, and open our minds to the knowledge that is necessary for the governance and ordering of this place in this time. Thank you for commitment. Thank you for selflessness. Thank you for integrity. Thank you for the ability to trust each other. Bless Riverhead. May it have prosperity. May it be a good place to live tonight and well into the future. Amen.
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 Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, you want to make a motion?
What was it?
You want a motion for the minutes, or you want to go?
Yes, that'll be fine.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion that we accept the minutes for the town board meetings of June 19th and July 3rd, and the CDA meeting of July 3rd. So moved.
I'll second. First and second, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
The minutes are approved.
Okay. Before we, do you want to do your reports and then we'll?
Sure.
Okay, let's do that and then we'll go into.
Okay, under reports, the tax receiver submitted their July utility collection report for $312,799.72. Under fire districts, the Jamesport and Riverhead fire districts both submitted their 2017 financial statements. Under correspondence, we had a letter from Clement Beccari regarding the proposed special permit application of URT. Ellen Hoyle submitted a letter regarding the EPCAL deal with regard to the Q&E hearing with 555, and that's CAT. Kathleen McGraw submitted a letter regarding the EPCAL deal with 555 also. And that's it.
Okay, thank you very much. We're going to take some of the resolutions a little bit out of order before we start the public hearing. So if we can do resolution 563 and 564 first. It's for the police officer. Do you wanna?
Okay. Diane, you want to call that?
Okay, sure. Resolution 563.
Appoints a police officer to the police department. So moved.
I'll second.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Second.
Kent.
And I want to say welcome aboard to Matthew Safrina. I vote yes.
We need three first.
Hubbard.
Need two more, Matt. Where are you?
Hubbard.
Absolutely. He's worked part-time for the police department for a little bit, and he's got glowing remarks, so had glowing remarks, and we're very happy to have him on board.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Absolutely, yes. So welcome, Matthew.
Resolution adopted.
And then we just have one more, which is a promotion. And then after that, we are going to ask the officers to come up for their swearing in. So,
Resolution 564.
and this is.
Resolution 564 promotes a police officer to the rank of sergeant. So moved.
Seconded?
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
And congrats to Danielle. I vote yes.
Hubbard.
Absolutely, yes. Excellent police officer, worked with her for quite a few years. I will say all of the people that were on the list for sergeant were excellent candidates. Her score was second to none though, so congratulations, Danielle.
Giglio.
Congratulations and well-deserved, yes.
Wooten.
I can tell you, of course I'm gonna vote yes, but I can tell you Danielle has been very involved in a lot of community things, which is always dear to my heart, whether it's youth court or whether it's, drug court, you name it, she's involved in it, so it's important that she's a real integral part of our community, so yes.
Jen Smith.
Absolutely yes, and congratulations, Danielle.
Resolution adopted.
So at this point, I'm gonna ask the Chief of Police, David Hagmiller, to come up and to do the swearing-in ceremony. Do we come down?
Yeah, I think we go down.
Yeah, that would be fine. If Danielle and Matthew's families would like to come up and join in, you're welcome. Don't be shy. Yeah, come on over here.
You solemnly swear to uphold the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of New York, and to faithfully discharge the duties for Danielle Police Sergeant and for Matt Police Officer to the best of your abilities, so help you God.
Mr. Chief. That's it. Very important, you remember all of these faces. No, mommy's gonna be saying.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Is that your brother?
Is that a little red?
It is.
Oh my goodness.
Alex, right?
There you go. Good job. Good job.
Yeah.
Stop taking the antibiotics for sight. I'm still not feeling
Yeah.
good, so.
Alien should have some social.
Well, sometimes.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know, the airport doesn't.
I also had put it on the agenda, but Carol went home to eat all the jellies. Like, no, where did it go?
Maybe.
Oh, well.
I didn't say what.
I know, that's what I was thinking.
So once again, congratulations, and congratulations to the officers and to their families, so thank you. At this time, we will move on to public hearings, right? I'm not forgetting anything, else, am I? Okay. So our first public hearing was scheduled for 6:05. It is now 6:17, and we will call the public hearing to consider a special permit application from North House Vineyards, Inc., Jamesport Vineyards, to establish a bistro use at 1216 Main Road, Jamesport, New York. At this time, I ask the applicant to come up and address the board. You want us to do that, swear him?
Yep.
Yep.
Before you start, you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay.
And then one other thing is, I believe for Diane, for the town clerk, you gave the affidavit for the posting of the sign and the affidavit of the mailings?
Yes, I did.
Okay, thank you. So do you want to just address the board a little bit and explain?
Sure.
Ron
Oh,
Gerl,
yeah, good.
Ron Gerler, Jamesport Vineyards. Our family's been out here for over 35 years, farming in Jamesport, and in Cutchogue also. We have a winery there on the main road in Jamesport, and our family has been there for, like I say, the last 35 years, and I'm a second generation out here. I have a third generation. I have my wife and my lovely young daughter with me also this evening, and we're trying to establish a bistro at the winery to help our guests and give them a well-rounded experience while they're there at the winery. And it's a different type of farming, but you know, it's the next evolution of farming out here, and I think that's always the challenge with farming, is that you have to kind of come up with new ways in order to do things, and so I'm asking the board for the permission for the special permit for the establish the bistro.
Okay, is there any comments from the board, anything people would like to ask?
Hours of operation that you're looking to do?
Currently, the hours are from 10 to 6. Sometimes on the evenings, we do stay open until about 9 o'clock.
Nothing past 9 o'clock?
No.
And you're located in the rural corridor district?
Yes.
Okay, and at this point, is there anybody from the public that would like to come up and comment?
Swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do. Angela DeVito, South Jamesport. I look forward to what our wineries offer us in our communities. They give us tremendously to us. But my concern with this specific location and about the expansion with the bistro and what that would mean in terms of traffic is that the entryway to the vineyard itself, to the buildings, is directly across, or maybe just a little bit angled off of the entryway into the Harbs Farm Stand. And at the height of the summer season and fall season, which are both very big seasons for both the Harbs family stand there as well as the vineyard, as well as for them hopefully for other times, there is the potential for a significant safety traffic issue. And I was just wondering if, as part of the planning for this bistro and the issuance of the special permit, that something can be considered to try to offset where the entry and exits for both of these establishments are, so that we don't. I mean, we currently have had, in my own travels on that road during the summer season, in many instances, a lot of near misses. And it's just something, there will be an increase, I believe there will be an increase there, and it's just something to consider. I don't know if there's an easement where the property can be accessed from another way or whatever, but I just think that in terms of considering this, that should be part of it, or at least to have them provide information on what they perceive it will be the increase in traffic during the peak hours of operation and during the peak seasons. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is there any comment you'd like to make to that, or is?
The only comment I would make is that, you know, we do have two driveways there. They're over 30 feet wide, both driveways, and where there is congestion there at times, there always is a smooth traffic flow in and out of our property. We do have enough parking on site to be able to accomplish what we're looking to do, and that's the only thing I would like to say about that.
Okay, thank you. Is there anybody else that would like to comment on this matter? Seeing nobody else, I will close the public hearing and leave it open for written comment until July 27th. Thank you. Thank you. July 27th, right?
Yeah, it's a long hour, sounds like.
Oh. All right, at this time, I'd like to open our second public hearing, which was scheduled for 6:10. It is now 6:22, and this is the consideration of a local law to amend the Town of Riverhead procurement policy. At this point, yep, we did receive some correspondence today. If we could just allow the town clerk to enter those into the record.
Sure, we received 4 altogether, one from Plumbers Local Union 200, Sheet Metal Workers International Association Metropolitan Local Union number 28, International Union of Operating Engineers Local Unions 138, 138A, 138B, and 138C. And this one's a long one, so bear with me. Mason Tenders District Council of Greater New York and Long Island, LECET, Laborers Employers Corporation and Education Trust, Laborers International Union of North America, and correct me, am I saying that right?
With one breath.
It was long.
And they still get a day's work
Yeah,
here.
right. Okay, I got it. That's it.
Thank you. Okay,
Good evening. Is this
yep,
on?
it should be on the, just lift it up, yeah.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Matthew Arasich. The last name is Aracich, representing the Building and Construction Trades Council of Nassau and Suffolk Counties. If you would allow me to speak for the other members that are here, that's why we actually submitted those comments. The reason was we didn't want to take up the time for everybody that is actually in attendance. So, Councilman Wooten, Councilwoman Kent, Supervisor Smith, Councilwoman Giglio, and Councilman Hubbard. Thank you for the opportunity to speak before everyone. I am the president of the Building and Construction Trades Council of Nassau and Suffolk Counties. We are an organization that represents a unionized workforce of 60,000 members throughout 37 different affiliates. Our affiliates represent the various professionals who are the highest trained, safest workers in the construction industry, who are residents of our communities. We actually have residents from the Queens border to the furthest end of Long Island. Our affiliates receive area standard wages that protect the middle-class families financially and provide a middle-class wage, health care, and retirement benefits to provide a middle class for members. Our commitment to safe working practices ensures that the goal of members in each affiliate is to arrive at home at night the same way they left and repeat the process when they go to work every morning. Please accept these comments in support of the proposed amendments to the Town of Riverhead's procurement policy. Public works projects are financed by taxes paid by local residents, and therefore the town should ensure that public work projects are performed only by responsible contractors and subcontractors, which must be reputable business entities that have adequate presence, performance capabilities, including expertise, personnel, and other resources needed to successfully perform projects in a safe, timely, and cost-effective manner for the residents of the town. The New York State Legislature, in declaring skilled manpower to be a great resource of the state and to expand the state's industrial economy, declared that its public policy of the state is to develop sound apprenticeship training standards and to encourage industry and labor to institute training programs. An apprenticeship is actually a job learning experience, where experienced supervisors and workers closely train inexperienced workers, apprentices, and through a combination of on-the-job training and also classroom instruction. While learning on-the-job apprentices, they are employed as full-time employees, hired to produce a high-quality work product and learn the skills that enhance their employability. Apprenticeship occurs in both the union and the non-union workplace settings. Historically, apprenticeship has been a standard method for workers to attain skills and experience in a particular trade, and workers with little or no experience may become a skilled craftsperson through the supervised training and education by experienced craftspeople. The benefits of apprenticeship have been detailed by the State Department of Labor, which lists the following advantages and reasons for employers to develop and register an approved apprenticeship agreement. Payment of apprentices' wages are usually 40 to 50% of the journeyman's workers during their apprenticeship. Exemption from paying overtime to apprentices for the related instructional portion of the training. Opportunity to qualify for tax credits if certain workers meet particular criteria and the business is located in specified areas.
reduced worker turnover. Workers have incentive to improve skills and achieve work, and apprentices will learn the techniques of the trade. Employers also benefit from a successfully trained apprentice program, and apprentices become skilled and motivated craft workers with strong ethics. And they possess the latest technological skills, understand why certain job tasks are performed, become good problem solvers, work better as team members, demonstrate more interpersonal skills, know company policy, have a better attendance, and are dedicated to the industry and specific employer. New York State affirmatively supports the development and use of registered apprentice programs by authorizing municipalities, such as the town of Riverhead, to adopt apprentice mandates in their procurement processes. By setting standards for apprentice programs, the town is also supporting those programs that actually recruit, train, and invest tens of thousands of dollars in each apprentice through classroom and on-the-job training, instead of programs that appear to be paper programs and that do not have registered apprentices or who do not consistently graduate apprentices. The recent spat of worker deaths and injuries from unsafe construction sites in New York, in the metropolitan area and region, further supports the need for the worker training, which is promoted and taught through formal apprenticeship training and registered with the state of New York. The council strongly supports the efforts of the town of Riverhead to train our next generation of local craftsmen and construction workers in the highest safety standards, and to ensure public dollars for capital projects are prudently spent by the use of responsible contractors. For these reasons, and those set forth below, the council supports the town's efforts to pass the revised procurement policy. The men and women represented by the council stand ready to work with the town to protect its taxpayers, develop a safe construction industry workforce, and ensure public works projects are built on time and on budget by responsible contractors. We believe that this procurement policy is one method which can help achieve these goals. I remain in solidarity and with the utmost respect, Matthew Harris, President of the Council.
Thank you.
There's a couple of comments I want to make aside from this, and one is that as I look here, you can see that there's a lot of people that are union members, people that have gone through the program, people that have health care, pension plans, and the idea is that they'll retire with dignity. They're part of the middle class, and they want to expand it. What you'll also see here is a fellow that's sitting right here, which actually was in the local that I actually led. One of your own for this town. He's one of our best. In addition to that, in the row right behind him, you see another one. But he's a little bit different. He's actually one of the instructors. And aside from being an instructor, he's actually a fourth-generation union member, one where his father was actually the coordinator. These are the people that work in your town. These are the people who represent you, and these are the people who represent the building trades. For many years, I worked alongside these people, and nothing makes me more proud than to represent the 60,000 members that are here. These are the reasons I go to work all day. The reason is, I could retire already, but this is what keeps me going. I myself have a 100-year history in this industry. My father and my grandfather. The opportunities that are ahead of everybody, whether it be the offshore wind projects, whether it be the capital improvement programs, whether it be the power industry, all these things are coming. And if we don't embrace this to make sure that we have enough workforce going forward, we're going to repeat the same problems that we had in Buffalo, Syracuse, Rochester, Albany, and Binghamton. The idea is we have to go ahead and embrace that there's going to be change. And this is the first step, because after this is the engineering piece. When you start building and opportunities get there, there has to be something ready for that next phase. And that's where we are. Offshore wind originally started out as a $2 billion industry for Long Island. It appears now that it's almost $6 billion. There's opportunities for manufacturing, there's opportunities for rail, and there's a $2 billion investment in Long Island Railroad to get people back and forth. This is exactly why it's important to make sure that the apprentices are well situated. One last comment is, some people aren't made to go to college. Some people choose not to go to college. Others can't afford to. Those that do, by the time they graduate, they'll have almost a $200,000 payment that they have to make. When these guys go to work, over the course of 4 years, they'll earn $300,000. That's a $500,000 swing. They'll also have 4 years of pension credits, 4 years of health care, 4 years of training, and they have a job when they finish their apprenticeship. when you graduate college, there's no guarantees. So that's why the building trades stands behind everything that we do to make sure that we create opportunities for everybody. Men, women, people of color. More than anything, it's the people that live in the counties. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening. Good evening, Board. My name is Tom Ferris. I live at 68 Timothy Lane. I'm also representative of Local 290 Carpenters. I brought Kevin here. He pointed to Kevin. That's my nephew. And I asked him to speak because you guys heard me talk many, many times about apprenticeship language over the years. So I figured coming from him, who's been through the program, went to Riverhead School, and can stay here on Long Island, I'd like to have him speak to the Board. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kevin Tuttle, and I'm a member of the Heat and Frost Insulators Local 12. I graduated from Riverhead High School in 2010 and quickly realized college was not really the path for me. I believe I am the perfect example of what the benefits of apprenticeship language could be. After a short college career, I heard about the opportunity of joining the Heat and Frost Insulators. Through the union and the Department of Labor, my application was chosen to join the 2011 class of first-year apprentices. The Local 12 apprenticeship program is set up to have on-site and classroom training for 4 years as you progress of becoming a journeyman mechanic. Each week you will not only go to work, but attend 4-hour class after work once a week for each year of your apprenticeship. With each year you graduate, your pay increases and the work gets more complicated. The 5 instructors I had over my 4 years were dedicated union men with many years of experience in the field. They taught us the proper ways to work efficiently, safely, and with craftsmanship. All insulator unions across the United States hold a master apprenticeship competition. In my 4th year as an insulator apprentice, I won both my local and conference level and had the privilege of representing the Eastern Conference in the national level, as I went up against 9 other conferences across the US and Canada. In 4 years, I went from being a college dropout working minimum wage to mastering my craft and becoming a journeyman. I took an oath to train other apprentices that will be on my job sites under me and learn in the field under me. I'm 25 years old with a pension, annuity, health care, and a well-paying trade. My apprenticeship program has made it that I could possibly still live in Riverhead and stay living on Long Island. Thank you.
Good evening, Town Board, Madam Supervisor. My name is George Salzman. I'm here tonight to express my concerns about the adopting apprenticeship language to Riverhead Township. I feel this is much needed in our growing economy to ensure good jobs here in our community. I'm a 3rd-year carpenter apprentice with the local 290s Carpenter Union. Not only will it give us area standard wages, but quality workmanship as well. I've grown up here in Riverhead, residing in Calverton, and I would love to be able to stay and prosper here in Riverhead, hoping to buy my own home and raise my family here on the east end of Long Island. Thank you.
Thank you.
Town Board. Hello.
It's working.
Okay.
Just have to cut
My
it.
name is Brian Nigro. I'm a 21-year local 28 sheet metal worker. I've lived in Riverhead for 17 years. I was able to buy my house because of my union and the wage I earn. I've been active in this community. I think that it's very important that this resolution gets seen through. Thanks.
Thank you. Is there anybody else that would like to comment?
Angela DeVito, South Jamesport. It's been 18 years we've been waiting for this. 6 years when Phil Cardinale couldn't get a board with 3 votes to put it through, and 8 years when Sean Walter would not even consider it, giving it the light of day. So I thank this board, I thank Supervisor Jen Smith for providing this as an opportunity for Riverhead to move forward. This is apprenticeship is the oldest workforce development program in the world. Not only have apprentices and journeymen built nations, they've built communities. They're the backbone, they're your middle class. So again, 18 years, a long wait, Mario. But we finally did it. Thank you.
Good afternoon, board. How you doing?
Good.
My name is Jonathan Allen. I'm in Local 66, Laborers Union, and I'm from Riverhead also. I'm from Doctor's Path, and me joining the union, it made me be able to buy a home, support my family, and it really did a lot for me and my family. Just wanted to say that.
Thank you. Any comment from the board at all?
I just want to say that I'm proud that we're, as a board, that we're moving forward with this apprenticeship requirement. I think it's a win-win for the town. And as our union friend so eloquently spoke about, certainly it promotes skilled workers, on-the-job training, safety, work readiness. It's just all good things. So I'm excited that we're moving forward with this. I think it's a good move.
I can tell you this from being on the board, the longest on the board, not here, sitting here for the last 11 years.
Oldest, you
That's
said?
'cause you're
The oldest sitting council person.
You said it, we didn't.
Probably the youngest, but the oldest sitting. Close. Well, no, you're looking. I can tell you, this has gone through a lot of changes. I mean, it's always been a goal of the town to enact this type of legislation, just for the reasons so stated. I think there was some back, just to give some credit, about 10 years ago, there was some problems with issuance from the State Department of Labor with these contracts for apprenticeship programs. So that there was a little unfairness on the playing ground, but that's all been lifted as of like 4 or 5 years ago. So now it's a level playing field, so I'm quite comfortable with the language the way it's written today. So it's a good job.
I'm happy to hear that.
I just have to ask Kevin, when he was playing lacrosse at Riverhead High School several years back, did you ever think you'd be working on the Barclays Center? Yeah. What a great success story. Congratulations.
I think this is very exciting. I think, as we've heard from the people that have come up and spoke, it's the apprenticeship program is the backbone of our community. We're constantly fighting to keep young people here and to have them be able to stay here, to live here, to buy a home, to have a job, to have health care, to have middle income wages, and I think this is a step in the right direction for the town of Riverhead to take to help achieve that and to have families be able to stay here and survive here. So I'm very proud that this is moving forward. I appreciate everybody's comments here today. I appreciate the folks from Riverhead who really bring this home to our community of why this is so important for us to be able to implement here. So I look forward to having this resolution come up for a vote. And at this point, I will close the public hearing on this.
I want to say one more thing. I hope other towns follow our lead.
And I just want to say, having dealt with the unions in the past, I know all of you very well, and I think it's important, and listening to the numbers of the applicants that are coming into the apprenticeship programs that are being offered, where you get 2,600 applicants and maybe you only can take 200 at a time. I think that it's the time of the century where people are not being able to afford to go to college. The parents are not being able to afford, and some kids just aren't cut out for college. They'd rather be working with their hands. So I think it's a really important program and a really valuable program that the unions offer in order to give the hands-on training. And I know that Carpenters Union, we were recently out there with, I think you had 7 women that graduated the Carpenters Union recently. So it's not only for men in the union, it's for women in the union too, and I want to thank you for the valuable service that you provide.
to close the public comment portion of this and leave it open from written comment till July 27th. So, thank you all very much. And I'll just wait for folks to exit, and we will move on to our third public hearing of this evening.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. That's why.
Exactly.
That's good. Good stuff. Kevin told such a good story, because college wasn't for him.
Yeah.
And he tried it, and it wasn't for him. And he got into the program, and he was working on Barclays Center, while my son, who went to school with him, was living down the road in Brooklyn attending college. It was, and they'd meet up in the city. And it was
If I could ask you if you could just exit quickly so we can continue on with our public hearings.
Get out!
Thank you, John. Okay, at this time, I will be opening the third public hearing, and that was supposed to start at 6:15. That is now starting at 6:43. It's the consideration of a local law to amend Chapter 301 of the Riverhead Town Code entitled Zoning and Land Development, Article 42, Transfer of Development Rights. So, Bob, if you...
Yeah, this is essentially a repeal and replace. The reason we needed to replace is due to the fact that in April of this year, the Appellate Division rendered a decision that found that the TDR legislation that had been done in 2004 was infirm solely due to the fact that it was not properly referred to the Planning Commission. We have referred this again to the Planning Commission. We received a letter of LD, a letter of local determination back, that this, and we're free to move ahead. So we're basically getting the TDR legislation back in the books. That was taken off the books because of the Appellate Division case. The court, in all other respects, found that the seeker analysis was fine, that the legislation that was also challenged, whether it be the APZ zoning, the RLC was also fine. So we're looking to get this back on the books so that we can do other things with the TDR that I know that we're all anxious to get underway. So that's the reason for today's public hearing.
At this time, if anybody would like to come up and comment on this, I ask you to come up.
Guess who I am? Angela Gito,
Still have to tell us.
South Jamesport. Again, this is something that's been, it's going right. It's something that's been done right. And also, one of the things, though, in looking through it, there is a reference to an inventory of the lands, the various zone use districts. Has that been completed, a mapping of this that goes along with this? I believe as part of the text there, there's a reference in there.
It was a map. It was, again, it was the same map that was done in 2004.
Oh, so nothing has changed there?
No.
Okay, all
It's
right.
identical.
And it also, there's a reference to the planning board as the sort of workhorse for making this program work.
Correct.
Are they actually going to do it, or is the members of the planning department? I mean, I know it's a fine line, a fine point, but it's, you know, there's the planning board, people that are appointed to it, and then there's the planning department staff. In terms of the operations of this, is the planning board actually going to do that, you know, the day-to-day work of it, or is it going to be?
Well, I'm not sure. It's day-to-day. The planning board is still the administrator of it.
So they will be doing all the administrative work.
Certificates, they're the ones who take them in. They're the ones who issue the certificates that have been issued so far, and will continue to do so.
So they will be doing it,
with aid of planning staff.
Yeah. And is there an evaluation tool in the reissuance of this law? I didn't see anything with that. You know, as we go along, you know, is it really working? Not by where someone files a law case against, a lawsuit against it, you know, holds it up, but is it working? Is there ways in which it perhaps, the language of it can be made more concise, can be made better, the way in which it gets administered can be done differently to make it better, and that, is there something that we're going to be doing to sit back and say, let's say every 5 years, how are we doing with this program?
Yes, there is, that is in the plans to evaluate it, but right now what this is doing is just putting back on the books what we had previously on the books, and once that is done, then other issues can be addressed. But until we have this back on the books, we're not able to switch anything
But I
else
can
around.
tell you, just give you some comfort level, there is a TDR committee which you'll hear from, that's worked very hard.
No, I'm aware of the
New
TDR
innovative-
committee.
Right, so that, but until we get
Okay,
some
thank you.
potatoes, we can't put gravy on it.
Oh my gosh, where'd you get that from?
Bottom line.
And you don't know what they taste like until you eat them.
Sorry.
Good evening, I'm Richard Wines from Jamesport, and along with Dave McLaren, I am co-chair of the town's Transfer Development Rights Committee. And as all of you know, the Transfer Development Rights Program is the only program the town now has that could help preserve our farmland and the agricultural industry that gives Riverhead the character that we all love so much. Dave and I and Rob and a bunch of others have been working on this effort for I think close to 4 years, first in the Farm Bureau and then over the last couple of years through a town subcommittee. And we were obviously quite shocked when the base law that underlies all of this was thrown out on a technicality. So I just want to say thank you now to the town board for expeditiously reenacting this law so that our committee, with your help and support, can move forward with ways to improve the program and make it even more effective. So thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Rob Carpenter. I'm Administrative Director of Long Island Farm Bureau. First and foremost, I wanted to come on behalf of the farming community and say thank you to the town board for your continued support of the agricultural industry here in Riverhead and on Long Island. A lot of the work that we do couldn't be done without your support, so I truly appreciate that. Farm Bureau is here to say we are fully supportive of this reenactment, I guess, if you will, of the legislation. We also were shocked at the result of the lawsuit, and we appreciate the efforts of you to move quickly and decisively to solve this problem, to get the TDR program reinstated, and so that the TDR committee, which I am also a member of, can move forward and enhance the program and make it even more effective and better. And I can tell you that the farm community has also worked hard for the last 15 years in getting this program done, and as one of the main means of preservation left to the town of Riverhead, it's vitally important. So thank you for your efforts. And
Hey, Rob.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any comments from the town board?
I'm glad to move forward with this. I just want to say that I believe as a town, we're proud of the agricultural community. We certainly reap the benefits of the produce and all of the beautiful vistas of the farmlands that are around us.
Anybody else?
Nope, it's all
Seeing
about
nobody else,
now.
I am going to close the public comment portion, close the public hearing at, what am I doing? Closing the public hearing and leaving open for written comment till July 27th. Thank you. At this time, we will move on to our next public hearing, which was scheduled to take place at 6:20. It is now 6:50. It's a consideration of a local law to amend Chapter 301 of the Riverhead Town Code entitled Zoning and Land Development, Article 42, Commercial Solar Energy Production Systems.
It's 52, I believe.
Is it 52? 52, I'm sorry, yeah. The other one was 42.
Had to get through the throngs of my fans.
Yes. Anything with zoning, you always have that, Jeff.
Good evening, Jefferson Murphy, Building and Planning Administrator. This is a code amendment that seeks to amend the site plan application fees for solar farms. Right now, the code requires a maximum of $3,000 application fee for solar farms like you see on Edwards Avenue. Maximum of $3,000. Whereas the normal site plan application review fee for any commercial development is $500 flat fee plus 10 cents per square foot of altered area. So a typical shopping center that you see for 10 acres or so would pay a maximum of $30,000 for staff and the whole planning process to proceed. whereas for a 100-acre solar farm, the application fee is only $3,000. It does not cover the cost of staff's time to review and process that application. This code amendment seeks to balance the playing field, so to speak, and require the same amount of application review fee for a solar farm as any other commercial development.
Okay. Any questions from the board? No. Anybody from the public who would like to comment? Seeing nobody, I am going to close the public hearing and leave it open for written comment until Friday, July 27th. At this time, I will open the last of our public hearings that was supposed to start at 6:25. It is now 6:52, and this is a public information and comment hearing regarding discontinuance and abandonment of the terminus of Riverside Drive, Riverhead, New York. And if anybody would like, from the public, would like to come up and comment on this? Is there any from?
How you doing?
Good.
How you doing? Steve Jackson, Riverhead. Do I get to ask any questions, or I just get to tell you don't do it? How do you want to work this?
Why don't you want it done, Steve?
Because it's a town road. The highway department does not spend any money other than plowing and painting that road. The back end doesn't have, they haven't put RCA in 20 years. It's never been touched, the back end of it. I still use it. There are other people down there, because I'm down there fishing, I go down there crabbing. 2 times this has come from the county. I don't even know what department, but it's come from the county. 2 times, 2 different town boards said no. Last time, this place was packed. I guess I'm the only one who still uses that place, but whatever. You couldn't get in here the last time, because when I was a kid, we went down there strawberry picking, before there was a golf course. I just think it's wrong. Geo is not spending any money whatsoever, other than, I go to work, I used to work in Flanders. I follow plow trucks, they go down, turn around, and come back, down Riverside Drive, going back towards Main Street. They're not turning around on 105, they're going down, they back up where the road goes to the restaurant, and they turn around and they go back. They don't plow down the back end, they don't touch it. I just don't see giving, the county's not giving us anything for it. They're gonna put a gate up. I will fish at Indian Island. They put gates up, I can't get there. 8 o'clock in the morning I can get there, 8 o'clock at night you're out. Fish don't come around till dark. We're losing space. We've got nowhere to go. At night, I don't have to dodge the golf balls. There's nobody down there. I go fishing. And someone says the county said there's no garbage down there. I'm the only one down there. There's nothing. I'm there every night.
Are you driving all the way down, or are you walking?
I'm driving all the way down. There's nothing. There's not garbage there. There's nobody there. There's 3 other guys who fish around me. I don't know them guys who they are, but now everybody knows where I'm fishing. There's gonna be 10 guys down there. But whatever. I don't see a way. I'm just saying that, I'm not gonna get down there, but I don't understand. If Geo was spending thousands of dollars and the county came at us and said, you gotta put drainage in, fix that up and whatnot, I agree. Get bye-bye. They're not. I don't think anybody's coming at us saying we gotta fix it up or anything.
We're being requested to repair the road there. So
The back end or the front?
all the way down the full road, so it's about $50,000 to $75,000 to bring it up to code.
Up to what code?
Up to.
There's grass.
Well, that's the point, up to town code, up to the road, up to the
So
specification.
someone is telling you or asking you. There's a big difference of asking us, can you please fix it, or you gotta fix it. Because the county's not gonna go down there and rip that back asphalt up. They don't have the money, they don't have the manpower.
We own the road.
I understand that. If you give it to the county, they're not gonna rip that asphalt. Where are they gonna get the money to rip that asphalt up and bring it up the code? They're not gonna do that. There's no way they have the money. No, that's taxpayers' money. Where are they gonna find that? I just think it's wrong. 2 boards before you saw, a long time, it was 20 years ago, maybe 30 years ago before that they came here. And both those town boards said no. Now, I understand it, to Geo's thing might be inconvenience, but that's his job. I mean, it's a town road. If they were gonna give us something, I'd say trade away. I just don't get it. I mean, we don't, he's not spending any money, but I'd like to know who's telling you that we've got to take it up to code. You're saying the county's telling you that? It's our road. What are we going to listen to them for?
It's our road. We can make a decision what we do with it.
I understand that. But you don't have to listen to the county telling you that you got to upgrade it. You don't have to.
I find that, I don't think the county would want us to, because it was.
Yeah, I don't think they want
actually
it upgraded.
I agree with you.
In 95, when Valella was sitting
I'm
right
going to
there,
tell you what's going to happen.
we
You're
sat
going to have
down there
drainage that's going to go right into the creek.
we
They
mapped
just
it.
They just used your road, our road, not yours, but mine, to fix the whole par 3 in the back there. They were down there for months on your road, our road.
Remember that? They came, they actually when there was a contest between the county and the town over that road, the town went down and they actually flagged the width that was supposed to be, and it went right through that signature part 3.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, the guys went, oh, it's okay.
Right now, if you go down there, the par 5 that goes down along the river there on the south side of the thing, they've backed that right up onto the town road. I mean, the town road used to go right down, and there's a pile of rocks there, right to the cat reeds.
Yeah, right.
You can't get there now without driving over there, the county's land. I just think it's wrong. I'm hoping you don't give it away. I really, you know what, in 5 years I'll be out of here, give it away in 5 years. But right now, leave it alone. That's all I want.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Larry Kaiser, resident of Jamesport. I'm in support of leaving this road alone. I've used that road for the past 25 years. I gunned that point duck hunting. I fished that point fishing. I was taught how to crab by old timers off of that point. That original road, when the county came in to take that old duck farm and convert it to a golf course, the town at that time said, we want to preserve the rights of our residents' access to this bay. And that was coming from Eddie Deniseski, the former councilman here, okay? That town road belonged to the residents of this town to ensure us access to that bay. I really find it unconscionable that someone is asking you to make repairs on a road or bring a road up to code that no one has cared about for 30 years. 40. I mean, like I said, I'm a 30-year resident here now. Okay?
Well, I think that's the point of the public hearing is that the county is asking us to turn the road over to them. I'm assuming if the road is turned over to them, that they will green it, and it will no longer maintain a road. And the point of the public hearing is to hear from the residents whether that would be a good idea or not to do. So that's really the.
There's 2 young men in the back of this room here that learn to fish, hunt, and the environment off of using places like that. Now you take this road away, what's to stop all the other small public accesses? Not that they're secrets or anything, but this road isn't hurting anybody, okay? There's no need for improvement. I plow the road in the wintertime to gain access for myself and the other handful of hunters that go down there. There's never any garbage. If nothing else, it's more secure than most places because the police barracks are across the street for the park police. Okay, there are numerous times we're down there night fishing, Parks Police will roll through. Hey, how you guys doing? What's going on? Never any garbage. And Steve was right. That road used to go down to that shore 10 years ago. They decided to reconfigure their tee boxes and their greens and all that. We lost 100 feet. Thankfully, the greenskeeper people there said, as long as you don't drive on the tee and you park under the osprey nest, there's no problem. There's never any garbage, there's never any issues down there. Anything that's down there has washed ashore. I really implore the town to reconsider turning this road over to the town, because we can find money for parks and everything else that we can't really have access to until they're developed. Now we're just gonna take this right out from underneath us, so please reconsider this.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Sal Mastroполo, Calverton. That road is used every 2 or 3 days by the porta potty company to clean out the toilets. So keep that in mind.
I'm not going to ask you how you know that, Sal.
I knew somebody used that water potty.
Robert Skinner, Jamesport. I am against the town giving away any kind of waterfront access that would restrict or limit or eliminate the opportunity for the people of Riverhead Town to go fishing, period, end of sentence. And I don't think that this should be done. I think Riverhead should hang on to it.
Okay, thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Is there anybody else that wanted to comment? Seeing nobody else, I'll close the public hearing and leave it open for written comment until Friday, July 27th. At this time, just a couple announcements, and then we will open it for public comment on the resolutions. Just one, as always, we're having we've said a couple times, we're having the train station cleanup on July 28th at 9 a.m. and hopefully you'll join us, and we're going to be doing plantings and cleanup over at the Riverhead train station, so hopefully you will join us for that. And just one other item I wanted to bring up, we have, with the EPCAL qualified and eligible hearing, there's been some recent changes in the light of some of the recent business transactions that have transpired, that we've seen in the paper with 555, with the purchase of the Dowling property over there, the bid in for that, and also the proposed American Dream project down in Miami. There has been some changes, possibly in the financials of the company. Currently, from the qualified and eligible hearing, the last document that we have was a statement of funds available that was dated March 9th. There is nothing that we have in our writing that would have that updated. So we would like to, if the board's pleasure, if we can have a discussion about it, about making a second request to 555 and CAT, if they would like to fund the cost of the group's, an independent evaluation of the group's financial records. This is something we had discussed in the past that we did not get a positive answer to. But I'm asking the town board at this time if they would like to reconsider asking for that before we move into the rest of the qualified and eligible. So just if we could have some comments on that.
I would certainly like to entertain that. Given the circumstances of what has been presented to us in terms of the financials from CAT, it's not possible for me to vote in favor of this project without having more information. So my request, and I've spoken to the supervisor and the other board members about this individually, is that I would like to have CAT be able to provide us with the correct financials that we need to make an educated decision on this project. At this point in time, I don't think it's fair to say what we have is enough, because it's not. I've been quoted by people, I've been quoted in the media of being for it, against it, all over the place. And some of that is true, because I have been for it, I have been against it, and I have been all over the place. But right now, as this decision is getting closer and closer, I had a conversation with the supervisor and asked if we could reach out to our attorneys and have them reach out to their attorneys to ask one more time for financial disclosures that are more of a pro forma standard, something that's generally used. Although our attorneys have assured us we can move forward without seeing the pro forma standard of financials, my personal opinion is that's not a wise approach, and I think we need, as a town, we need more information before, I need more information, most certainly, before I can come to terms with a decision to support this project or not support it. So the request is to get proper financials. They have agreed to do that, and I want to make that clear. They did agree to do that, but it was at our cost. And I'm sorry, that's not acceptable. You're looking to buy our property, you're gonna have to pay for that if you wanna prove to me that you have the financial wherewithal to do it. So I think that's kind of a bit of the conversation that I had with my board members, and so now you can't say I'm not on the public record for speaking my mind about EPCAL, because I have done it.
So the question is then for the board, I mean, I'm certainly in favor of reaching back out to ask for them to fund the cost of evaluation of their financial records. I believe that the pro forma statement is necessary to make the decision, as well as some of their financial statements. I understand that they have expressed interest, expressed that they are a privately held company and do not want to disclose it publicly. That is fine. But it does need to be reviewed by an accredited financial group. The questions we ask need to be answered, and we certainly couldn't go into an agreement with them as far as that's concerned, and there is a fee that we would expect them to cover. So I am fine with sending that information out and asking for their response to that. So I'm just, Jim, how do you feel?
Well, how do I feel? This is the first I'm hearing about this. I realize there was some hoopla going on prior to this, but obviously you came prepared to discuss it, and I was not prepared to discuss it. So I'm a little bothered by that, because I don't even see it on the agenda at this point. So this is something thrown out there in the blind.
It's not a resolution, this is just.
And I know, it's a discussion that really should be taking place at a formal town board meeting, and when we're in the middle of resolutions. But I will say this, I think there's a lot of trust issues, I think, and rightfully so, and I can understand the trust issues when it comes to relief, because I've never, and no knock at anybody, I have never seen this type of Q&E hearing that's gone on for 7 months, that has been aired out in the public, whether it's ethics opinions or ethics violations, everything's out in the open, and it's just not the way to do business, not with ethics anyway. And so I can understand there's trust issues, there's things said, there's things interpreted. So I can understand that maybe you want to get a better feel whether they have the financial wherewithal. That's fine. If they want to go ahead and get a third party, I think we should be somewhat responsible for that. We're asking for it.
Right, but
You know,
this is,
someone- No, I'm not, I'm talking to my board.
but we're.
Okay, I'm not talking to you.
We asked them for their financials that would be of no cost. But they are requesting that it's done in a confidential manner that requires a fee to it. So that's why we're asking them to bear the cost.
Well, you
of
want
it.
a third party.
Correct.
We want a third party that we both agree on, right? To
Correct.
do the analysis.
Correct.
And you want their yay or nay.
Yes.
That's it.
Well, we want not their, it's not their yay or nay, whether they're
The
financial.
third party.
It's not a yay or nay from them. What we're asking them is to analyze their financials.
Right.
We have
And
in
then come
our.
back and just give us a yay, yes, they are qualified, or no, they
No,
are
no, 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 no. They don't determine whether they're qualified. That is the purview of this board. What we're asking someone to look at their financials. These are the records that we are requiring from them,
If
and
they
we
have
would
the-
like.
well, when
and
I
we-
say
and-
yay or
And
nay,
we
what-
would like them to provide
I know
that
you
information
want.
that we're
You
requesting.
want, right, you want to make sure that they have the wherewithal to go ahead and purchase
And develop.
And develop.
and develop this. Right, I get it,
Okay.
but you want a third party to make that analysis.
I don't need a third party to make this analysis. If they would show me their books, we can make the analysis. They don't wanna show us their books, so they wanna use a third party for it, so that.
Well, I
that-
can't blame them there.
So that's where the fee
I
comes in.
can't blame them.
I actually reviewed several of the emails from our
I can't
outside
blame
counsel today, and going back to May 9th, and then also again on June 8th, where our outside counsel said that Kat has been forthright in saying that we will give you our certified financials, but we want a bona fide confidentiality agreement. They've never said we're not gonna give you our financials. They wanted a bona fide confidentiality agreement. Our CPA that we have working for the town does not feel comfortable in reviewing these financial documents, which I can't even imagine how many stacks of it. So our outside counsel said they also reached out to 4 large CPA firms. This was back in May, and back in June again, that they reached out to 4 large CPA firms that gave them a price of between $50,000 to $100,000 in order to review their financial documents. And the supervisor asked them to cover that cost, the $50,000 or $100,000, to review their financial documents, and they declined to pay the $50,000 to $100,000. So they've never said that they weren't gonna give us our financials. They said that they would give it to us, but it would have to be in a bona fide confidentiality agreement. And I have those emails, and it's not confidential because I reviewed them again today, and there was no privileged and confidential on the top of the email. So it's, they've never said they're not giving them to us. It's just a matter of who's gonna pay the $50,000 to $100,000. Because we don't have anybody in-house that's capable of looking at it, and they don't want their private investments and their bank accounts and everything out there for the public to see.
So will it be the pleasure of the board to go forward and request from 555, to provide their financials and ask them once again if they'd like an independent evaluation of their financial records, that they would provide that to us, at their cost?
I would certainly agree with that. Actually, I've stated publicly that on numerous occasions that I think we should be seeing all the financial documents. I can't fathom moving forward with a deal this important to our town without seeing all the financial, their financial documents. And actually, I think it's right to do it in a public forum. We represent the public, and I think that this is the right forum for it.
I think that there needs to be an agreement between the town board and our outside counsel and between the proposed purchaser as to the extent, whether we need a forensic audit of their financials or whether we need verification of their financials and balances that are in the bank statements that we've been given, because we have been given, information from different bank accounts saying that they have, $8 billion in their bank statement at the end of the month or so, or at the end of the year. So
I think that was just the value of the bank that they own.
I think that an agreement has to be made so that it doesn't cost between $50,000 and $100,000 to have a CPA or somebody look at their financials, verify that the money's there, have an estimate from 555 or CAT as to what the cost of the development is going to be, because, they could get before the DEC. Once they have control of the property, they could get before the DEC, and the DEC could say, you know what, where you had 600 acres a year and a half ago, now you only have 300 acres that you can develop. Where you've done a test hole here, there's contamination here, so you can't build here. Until they get into the permitting process, they're not gonna know what they can build or where they can build it or how much it's gonna cost them to build. And I think it's unfair without going through the full process of the permitting process through the Suffolk County Department of Health Services and New York State DEC to even put a dollar amount on what the proposed development might cost, because we don't even know how many, the DEC has told us that only 600 acres are developable because they wanna leave the forested area, they wanna leave the, grasslands, they want to have the maintenance program, they wanna have, they could go through their due diligence period after a year and a half and say, we're no longer interested. And then what?
Well, we know the intended development plan is 1 million square feet and $1 million for the runway. I think you're in construction and you know that there is a price for each per square foot. Even if you came in at $110 per square foot, and we know that the infrastructure that they've provided in their own documentation, I think was between $37 and $47 million. So we know that that's a price right there. So let's get that up at even.
Yeah,
but let me finish can I finish talking?
Yes.
So we know that's at least $200 million plus the purchase price of the property. The only thing that we've seen from them at this point right now is one letter dated March 9th that showed that they had $40 million in account that was cash and some equity investments. So I think to Tim's point is that we are looking for more of a comprehensive financial records from them. I think that it certainly can be taken from our qualified and eligible. I don't have it in front of me, but I believe it's pro forma financial statements and either certified or audited financial records, bank documents, things like that. I forget what all of the particulars are, but I think that that's what we would be asking them to provide to us.
I'm not concerned that there's a cost, I'm not concerned about their cost, because I represent the town and the seller.
Understood.
I'm concerned about protecting our town.
But I think that in the million square foot build out, there's a lot that comes along with that was addressed in the seeker study, which.
But I think that's the own impetus is on the developer to provide that information with us. It's not for us to second guess what their plans are. They have to provide us with their plans, and then we get to evaluate them. We're not advocating for what they should do or shouldn't do. We're here to have them provide us that information, and then we evaluate that information.
Understood, but being in the development field, it's very difficult to look at a large tract of land when the DEC has said, has adopted ordinances all along the way that we've held onto this property, where everything inside the fence was supposed to be off limits and be able to fully be developed under the Pine Barrens Act. And then there was articles that were adopted by the New York State DEC in the middle of the night without a public hearing, restricting the amount of development that could occur, and requiring a taking permit, and requiring a maintenance plan for the habitat restoration. And I just think
and that was addressed in the EIS that was done for when the updated EIS plan was done, and that information is available publicly on our town website.
Understood. I just think that it's very difficult when you are buying a large tract of land like this to determine where the building is going to occur. I mean, they told us that they'd give us pretty pictures. Riverhead Resorts gave us pretty pictures. Riverhead Resorts, they gave us financials, and
I
then
don't
they
think
weren't
anybody-
able
I don't think
to go
anybody's-
through with the project, if I can finish now.
Go ahead.
So Riverhead Resorts gave us the pretty pictures. They gave us the financials. And then they walked away owing us $3.8 million. They gave us a giant check written in pounds that never was able to be cashed, and they gave the certified financials. So I think, you know, if you want them to do it, I think that they've said all along they would give their financials, but if you wanna put a number on it of 1 million square feet and say it's $200 million, to be honest with you, I think if they get to that 1 million square foot point, it's gonna be a lot more than that, because they're gonna have to widen William Floyd Parkway, they're gonna have to widen 25, they're gonna have to widen Edwards Avenue, they're gonna have to, once they get up to that 1 million square feet, they might say, you know what, it's not worth it for us to do all the widening of all these roads all around the town of Riverhead that lead to Riverhead. We only wanna build 500,000 square feet or 600,000 square feet. Once you get to that threshold where you have to make a determination if you're gonna spend another $1 million
Then
building the
then
roads.
they'd be in breach of contract.
But
To
anyway,
be clear, because we are clearly
Yeah.
digressing away from the
Yes.
point. The consideration is that we don't feel we have, I don't feel, I'm not speaking for anybody else up here, I don't feel I have enough information to make a qualified decision based on the information that was presented to us. So I'm asking for 555 or CAT to provide us with financials, however it may be worked out, not at the town's cost, for us to make a better educated decision on the property and on the development of the property. I'm not necessarily against, just to make this clear, I'm not necessarily against the project, but I'm against the information, or I don't feel I have enough information to make a qualified decision, even though the Q&E has been closed. It's a possibility it may have to be opened up again to enter in financials should they be presented from the possible buyer. Is that clear?
So is,
It was clear here, but what's clear here isn't always clear when I try to
so is
put it out.
Is, Jim, would you
It doesn't matter.
like
You
to
got
send?
3 people that are pushing for it. It doesn't matter what I think. I think, and you know what? I look at 555, and I see generally what they're doing as far as the networking they're doing outside to our town, that we hear from our brokers and other people in the professional field. The networking they're doing on their own in aviation. I look at them looking to buy Dowling to make it into a school. I see that they're investing in this community, and they're actually to put together this plan to make a real impact in aeronautics on the East End with manufacturing and with research. And you know what, you can say what you want, but this has been the town that couldn't get it done for 20 years. And I tell you what, with a 14-year-old daughter, it'll be another 10 years before they get it done. I'll probably be dead too. But the bottom line is jobs and creating that type of use of that property, which is really in the middle of nowhere, is too important. And that $40 million might seem like, you know, I never thought that $40 million was that big a deal. I thought if the right company came in there, the federal government said we have to create jobs and create an economic base. It was never about what we could sell the property for. They could have it for nothing if they put something good up there, as far as I'm concerned. It's not about the $40 million. But the $40 million coming in, I'm looking at a police department and court structure that's falling apart. I'm looking at this roof's leaking in here and the basement floods out every time it rains. I'm looking at all the infrastructure that's falling down around us that we just cannot afford to fix. And I'm looking at that $40 million and saying, you know what, that can go a lot for our debt service, with the landfill. That can go a lot with escrowing money for the debt service. That can go for doing some real capital improvements along the town, stabilizing taxes for our taxpayers for a decade. I'm looking at all these good things that could be done with that. So maybe I'm a little more optimistic than the next guy, but I'm not naive. But when I see the networking and I see what they're doing, you know what, I'm not so sure that I would say, no, I want to see all your financials or take a hike.
Okay, so you're not in favor of the
No, I'm
request? Catherine?
I'm in favor of it.
Okay. Jody?
after speaking to Councilman Hubbard today and him saying what his concerns are about new projects that they've undertaken as far as in Miami and other venues that they've taken up, and him wanting to see the financials, and, you know, I mean, there's 3 votes for it. I'm not gonna say that no, I'm not for seeing the financials. I'm saying that the information that I've seen this far has been satisfactory to me, where I feel comfortable in their wherewithal to build out the project. But you have 3 votes to move forward. I just think that it should be something that is discussed between the attorneys, and that there's an acceptable standard, that you don't have to go all the way up to the $100,000 in order to determine whether or not they have the wherewithal and the finances to build this type of project. So I think what Jim was saying, where, you know, you have a CPA firm that's looking at their financials, that's verifying their information, not necessarily a forensic audit, but, you know, maybe it doesn't have to cost them $50,000, and it seems that there's, you know, board support to make them pay, and I hope that they stay and they give you what you need in order to feel comfortable in voting for the project. But I don't think that it has to be a forensic audit. We're not looking for, you know, a needle in a haystack. We're looking for somebody to certify that they have the wherewithal to buy the property and to build it out.
I mean, I think I've been quite clear on requesting the financials. I think the qualified and eligible hearing requires that these financials are provided.
And they've offered them.
I think
all
that,
along.
I think that, you know, Tim, I think that out of respect for you, I think we have asked this and they have not provided this information to us, and we've asked it, you know, quite clearly what we wanted, but I think that I am quite comfortable asking one more time and requesting that they provide us with this information.
They've offered it all along, but it's a matter of who's gonna pay for the books to be looked at.
We have not received it, so at this point, we will send out the request one more time to ask for it. Hopefully, we'll receive back a more comprehensive answer, and then we can figure out what our next steps were after that, after the request has been given. So, okay, at this time, I ask anybody from the public who would like to come and comment on any of the resolutions to please come up and address the board. Nobody?
Sal was asleep. Same old jargon.
Sound like an early tea time today.
All right.
Are we ready?
Yes.
Okay, resolution 558.
That's me?
Yes.
Sorry, I'm telling my daughter to save me my dinner. 558 authorizes town clerk to publish and post public notice to consider a local law to amend chapter 231 entitled Fire Prevention of the Rivertown Code. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 559.
Authorizes funding application to New York State for Consolidated Funding Application, CFA, for Strategic Planning and Feasibility Studies Round 8. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 560.
Authorizes funding application to New York State for Consolidated Funding Application, CFA, for New York State DEC/EFC Wastewater Infrastructure Engineering Planning Grant, Program Round 8. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 561.
Declares personal property, highway trucks, surplus, obsolete, and authorizes the sale to Riverhead Central School District. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 562.
Authorizes the purchase of a 2019 Altech bucket truck for the use by the town highway department. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. And we'll move to resolution 565.
Promotes an assessment clerk. So moved.
Good.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes, she got a stellar, actually, report on her work that she's done in the assessor's office over the years, and she is a very low-paid employee, so I'm hoping that this little bump will encourage her to stay. We have a few people in the assessors that may only be there for a few more years, so she's stepping up to the plate, and yes.
And Wooten, you were?
I already said yes.
Okay, and Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 566.
Accepts the resignation of a water treatment plant operator 2D. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 567.
Appoints a recreation leader. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 568.
Can we take 568 and 569 together?
Sure, why not?
Done
They're
with them
both
by
for
now.
the same. Okay, make a motion to do 568 and 569 together. So
Seconded?
moved.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes, and this is to appoint water treatment plant operator trainees.
Resolutions 568 and 569 are adopted. Resolution 570.
Well,
Sorry.
Well,
I mean, vote is yes, it was to put them together, but that's all right.
oh,
Yeah, we actually have
Oh,
to
I'm
do a
sorry.
vote on them.
No, that was the vote to vote on them
That was the vote to
together.
put them together.
oh, okay.
Oh,
So I make a motion to, accept resolution 568 and 569, both appointing, a water treatment plant operator trainee.
I'll second.
Okay.
that's
Now
right.
it's moved and
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Okay, let's start all over. Okay. Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Now, resolutions 568 and 569 are adopted.
And had we
That's
done them
correct.
individually, we'd probably been done
Faster.
2 minutes
I
ago.
know.
Yes.
We can vote on them together, you don't have to approve to do it together, so.
Okay. Now we'll go to 570.
Oh, I'm sorry. Authorizes town clerk to publish and post a public notice to consider a local law to amend chapter 301 entitled Site Plan Review Application Procedure for Fees of the Riverhead Town Code. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 571.
Authorizes the town clerk to publish and post a notice for a public hearing on a special permit application for the Glass Greenhouse LLC Bistro Edition, 1350 Main Road, Jamesport, New York, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 600-68-1-20. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 572.
Rejects bid proposals and authorizes the town clerk to republish and repost notice to bidders for signage utilized by the town of Riverhead. So moved.
Seconded?
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 573.
Ratifies the appointment of a seasonal recreation aide to the Recreation Department. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 574.
Appoints a call-in recreation leader to the Recreation Department. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 575.
Amends terms of employment for a part-time legislative secretary. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 576.
Go ahead, do you have a?
Question?
It's.
It's a reduction of the hours
I
for
see.
30 bi-weekly.
7.5 hours per week or 15 hours per.
Yeah, 30
period.
to 15 bi-weekly.
Not enough? All right.
Yes.
Okay. Well done.
Resolution 576 authorizes town clerk to publish and post public notice to consider a local law to amend Chapter 301 entitled Zoning and Land Development of the Riverhead Town Code. Article, here we go.
64.
LXIV,
64.
who's my Roman numeral? 64, you're
64.
right. Mortgage and Default Registry. So moved.
Before I second this, I just wanna say I'm pleased with this, cause this will work well in conjunction with the blighted properties tax surcharge, and I wanna thank Bob Cos for bringing it to the board, working hard on it. Second it.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yeah, this is actually something that was worked on with the Code Enforcement Committee with Bob Kazakevich and Rich Downs. And it is to help clean up these houses that have been abandoned by people that could no longer afford to pay the mortgage. And they just pick up and get out of town, and the grass grows, and windows are broken, and, you know, at least we'll be able to know who the bank is that has control of the property, and we'll be able to, you know, clean up some of this blight that's happening in town with these projects or these houses that people are just walking away from. Yes.
Wooten.
Yes to the public hearing.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 577.
Extends bid for disposal of town-generated construction and demolition materials. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 578.
Authorize supervisor to execute a fourth addendum to the professional services agreement for the placement of commemorative items at Grumman Memorial Park. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yeah, and I just want to thank Mrs. Van Watering, Pat. She's done a great job in this throughout the years, and she's very dedicated to it, and she's the only person that's really keeping her eye out for Grumman Memorial Park, where the fighter jets are, and the memorial bricks. So, great job, Pat. Thank you, and we hope you keep it up for another 10 years at least. Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 579.
Authorization to publish advertisement for Police Department Accident Report Retrieval Service. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 580.
Authorizes senior services to utilize New York State Office of General Services, contract number PS 67902, regarding Language Line Services Incorporated for language interpretation services. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 581.
Awards bids for Town of Riverhead sale of obsolete surplus Highway Department vehicles, equipment, as is condition. So moved.
Awards the bids. Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
I'm gonna say yes, and Sal, this one is for you. Instead of just disposing them, they've been scrapped and put out for bid.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 582.
I move to table 582 for further discussion. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes to table.
Giglio.
Yes to table. Jim wasn't here for the discussion. He was away on vacation, and if he wants to do some more research on it, I will support him. Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution 582 is tabled. Resolution 583.
Approves the application for fireworks permit of Jamesport Fire Department, Saturday, July 21st, 2018. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 584.
Approves Chapter 255 application of National Home Finders, M&D Properties Incorporated, Movies Under the Stars at the Shops, August 11th and 25th, 2018. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 585.
Approves the Chapter 255 application of the Mexican Folkloric Dance Society of New York Live Bull Riding Rodeo Festival, Sunday, August 12th, 2018. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Just for, before we go for the vote, just discussion, I had asked, Mr. Murphy, I didn't get in touch. Would you wanna just come up for a minute? I just have a question. We had asked during the work session, or actually during one of the department head meetings, this is somebody that has received final site plan approval, but we were wondering if they, after receiving it, I guess there were still some conditions, are they working forward to?
We have no idea. I emailed Mr. Dean Delpret today, got no response. I called him at his office. I was told he was not in his office today. We have previously emailed him and spoke with him in the past, asking for a status. We have not received it.
Okay, and you just received this 2 weeks?
The approval?
Yeah, the.
No, he received it about a month or so ago.
Okay,
So he's had time to do something,
okay,
but we've not seen any effort to go forward.
okay.
Doesn't mean he isn't, but we have not seen or heard
We
from him.
haven't heard a response from him, okay. Okay, moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent,
Yes.
Hubbard,
No.
Giglio,
Yeah, in light of the fact that some of the things on the site plan have to do with public and safety issues and ingress and egress from the site, and the amount of people that are going to be there, and these protections are not in place, as well as the fact that, you know, they may have gone through with the site plan approval, but I know that the property is for sale, and I know that there's a buyer, and I know that, and I'm concerned that he's not going to do what he needs to do, and that he's just gonna keep filing these special permit applications to have events every weekend, and he's not gonna do what's necessary for the public safety. And so, under that note, I can't support this without any movement forward to make the improvements and to agree and to submit the conditions of approval by the planning board. It just seems that he's ignoring it, and so I'm gonna vote no.
Wooten,
Wow, I can kill this, huh? Actually, you know, looking at all the requirements that have to be provided to us prior to this event with Suffolk County Department of Health and the Public Health and Emergency Medical Services, New York State Department of Labor, all these receipts that have to be in place for this even to be considered, with the ambulances, I can live with this. Look like they got plenty of conditions based on this that I have a comfort level with it, so I vote yes.
Jen Smith,
I think this has been obviously, prior to coming on the board, I know that this has been an issue with the board. I think, you know, since I've been here, we've asked him to file his site plan application, which he has complied with. I think we have sent him a letter to make sure, I know that these events were coming in late. He did follow what we had requested him on this application. That being said, I will vote yes on this application, but I think that we need to see some sort of response to him as to meeting the requirements for the site plan before I would entertain more applications.
resolution adopted. Resolution 586.
586 ratifies the approval of the Chapter 255 application of Home Depot Development of Maryland Incorporated for their plants, annuals, and tree sale, June 26th through July 30th. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent,
Yes.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio,
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 587.
Authorizes supervisor to issue a letter to Riverhead Solar Farm LLC pursuant to section 487 of the real property tax law of the intention to enter into a contract for payments in lieu of taxes or pilot payment. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent,
Abstain?
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio,
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 588.
Here we go, the third time's a charm. Authorizes town clerk to publish and post public notice to
Let's
consider a local law to amend chapter 251 entitled Noise, Public Nuisances, and Property Maintenance of the Riverhead Town Code, bamboo. So moved.
I don't want to ever hear that word again. Seconded?
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent,
Yes.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio,
Yeah, I did send a draft over to Cornell Cooperative Extension and then also to some of the people that had come, that had concerns about it. And I think that
Yeah, I
the
did too.
Code Revision Committee has done an excellent job in putting it together and bundling it up nicely to where we can go forth with a public hearing on it and hopefully get this one adopted this time. Yes.
Wooten,
Actually, I was down in Florida this past week, and their whole hedgerow at this Orange Lake Resort had nothing but this clumping bamboo. It was a beautiful hedgerow. I said, cool,
Clumping
I'm
is
about to
good.
buy. I can't wait to buy some clumping
You didn't bring
bamboo.
some home, did you?
I'm gonna plant it right quick.
See, you wouldn't have known clumping from running if this wasn't all going on.
Right, it was beautiful. It was really nice plant. I vote yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 589.
Authorizes town clerk to publish and post public notice to consider a local law to amend chapter 217 entitled Buildings, Building Construction and Improvements and Housing Standards of the Riverhead Town Code. So moved.
Oh, I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Glad to move forward with this. I vote yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 590.
590 authorizes town clerk to publish and post another public notice to consider a local law to amend chapter 301 entitled Zoning and Land Development of the Riverhead Town Code. So moved.
I'll second.
Um,
Yep, let's do it.
First and second, I'm just gonna open for discussion here. I know we had talked about this, and my only question is, 15 feet in the front lawn for a trailer or, an airplane? No, I'm kidding. Or a boat, do you think 15, I'm thinking about it, I'm not sure if 15 feet is enough, because most boats are, or a trailer is longer than 15 feet for the front yard. I definitely agree with the one, but I don't know if, before we publish and post this, if we would like it to be a little bit more than 15 feet for the front yard.
Then we should table it and discuss it again at work session.
Yeah, I think
Well, I'm
that's what
just-
we should do, because I agree with you, 15's a little short.
Yeah, when I was, looking over it, I'm just thinking it's not too.
Yeah, this has only gone to public hearing probably 10 times over the last 8 years, but.
Well, that-
We're gonna,
You
know,
know,
we'll
finish this
discuss it.
week.
Well, that,
Table this.
yeah, it's okay.
Discuss it more.
Yes.
Okay, can I have a motion to table, resolution 590?
All right, I will move to table.
Second.
590.
First and a second to table resolution 590? So we have a first and second vote, please, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. Kent.
Yes to table.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution 590 is tabled.
I
Resolution.
think it's important to point out that 591 is not only moved, but seconded by Jody herself, so it's.
Oh, is it?
No.
Oh.
See that?
I'll let Tim second.
You
it.
don't get that very often.
All right. Wow, special tonight. Go ahead, Diane, you're gonna call it?
No.
Resolution.
Resolution 591.
Authorizes the town clerk to publish and post a public notice for a public hearing regarding an alleged unsafe and abandoned structure located at 42 Zdunkel Lane, Riverhead, also known as Suffolk County Tax Map Number 600, Section 42, Block 1, Lot 12. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 592.
592 ratifies execution of the MOU with Civil Service Employees Association Incorporated, Local 1000, AFS-CME, AFL-CIO, Riverhead Unit of the Suffolk Local Number 852. So moved.
Seconded?
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Not sure I'm aware of this. I wasn't here for the discussion. I'll abstain.
You'll abstain?
Yeah, I wasn't here for this.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 593.
Ratifies agreement between Winship Media LLC and the town of Riverhead. So moved.
I'll second.
Oh, really?
What's the matter?
The wrong vote?
Oh, yeah.
I sent the
Scott
corrected one,
Dunleavy.
I'm not sure why it's not in there.
Oh, we threw Dunleavy in there.
Yeah,
And you got Walter too.
yeah, this
Oh,
isn't corrected, I sent the
It's a
corrected.
throwback for you, Bob.
What happened there?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't think it matters.
We'll fix that up.
So we'll just do, what do we have on this? Who,
As amended?
as amended, can we do it as amended?
Sure.
Well, the resolution's not getting amended,
No,
just
it's
the
just the
people who
vote.
are voting are,
Yeah.
so.
Okay.
So it's okay?
It's
You're just
okay.
gonna call
We'll
it.
just-
But where are we? Are
We'll
we
clean
first
it
and
up.
seconded already? or-
This
Yes.
is the Winship
Yes, all right, first and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
I'll be voting as Jen
Resolution
Smith.
adopted. Same thing on the other one?
I don't know, so I'm looking.
Okay. Fix
I'll
it
be
up.
voting as Jen Smith.
All right, fix.
The other one's correct.
Okay,
Okay.
very good.
What's that one? 594.
approves agreement between Winship Media LLC and the town of Riverhead for utilizing police personnel and police cars for the Summer Rose and Bubbly Fest at Palmer Vineyards. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 595.
Peconic Water Main Extension, Water District Capital Project. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Abstain?
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 596.
Authorizes town clerk to publish and post a notice to bidders for well and pump testing, evaluation, reporting, and information management. So moved.
Seconded?
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 597.
Extends bid contract for water meters and accessory equipment or reasonable equivalent and repair to meter reading equipment for the Riverhead Water District. So moved.
And I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 598.
It awards the bid for the Riverhead Water District Generator Preventative Maintenance and Service. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 599.
Calverton District Route 25 LLC Water Service Capital Project Closure, number 30147. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 600.
G&Z Riverhead Retirement Community Lateral Water Main Extension, Water District Capital Project number 81852. So moved.
Seconded?
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 602.
Authorizes license agreement for dewatering at Peconic River parking lot. So
And it's
moved.
601, Diane, you said 602.
Oh, I'm so sorry. 601. Are we, hold
So
on.
you moved, did anybody
So-
second it?
He didn't
I didn't
second.
second yet, because I think
Let's go back.
I will second 601.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
I'm a little anxious.
Sorry.
Kent.
Yes. And there is no
Hubbard.
602.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Now, 602. Do you see it?
Yes.
Okay. You don't have it?
Who's reading this one?
I am,
Jim.
that's once I get to it, I think.
Where's it go?
602 authorizes notice to bidders, 841 Old Country Road sewer main and easement relocation for the Riverhead Sewer District contract number RDSD 18-01. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 603.
Pays the bills. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Jen Smith.
Yes.
Resolution adopted.
At this time, if there's anybody from the public that would like to come up and address the board, please come up, state your name.
My name is Robert Skinner, and I live in Jamesport. I have a question. Now that Mercy High School is out of the religious education field, how's that property being taxed to the diocese? Is there a difference since it's no longer functioning as a school? I don't know how these things work. And as a full disclosure, as a 1972 graduate of Mercy High School, and talking to a bunch of other people that have graduated, and we were wondering, how is that now being looked at?
How is it assessed at this point?
Yeah.
Honestly, it has not been sold at this point. It's still part of the diocese. So, for the reduction, I do not believe that it changes on the assessment roll, but I will check with the assessor. And if you wanna leave your information, I can give you a call and let you know for sure.
All right, thank you, because we look at it as one of those things where it's just investment property now for the diocese. It's
Well-
not serving a purpose, so.
My son actually went to Mercy, and he's going into 11th grade next year, so he's not finishing at Mercy. But the property was deeded to the diocese by a young a nun who was bequeathed to her, and it was supposed to be used for Catholic education in perpetuity. So the question is still up as to what that property can be used for, and there's an organization that's been put together trying to put together their own Catholic education STEM school at the property.
So that is
So
still on the
they're still working
radar
on it.
screen?
Yep.
Okay, all right, that's good. All right, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Go Blue Waves. Sorry.
Good evening. My name is Ken Zahler. I have an office on Maple Avenue next to Mrs. Duraska. Has been since 1986. And we've just finished, I hope we've just finished, a lengthy period of time when the pounding was incessant. It was, I can't, just because you've all gone over there and experienced it for a little bit of time, you have no idea what it's like to sit at your desk and watch the glass of water bounce around and see the window shake back and forth every minute of every day. I would sometimes leave and go up to Starbucks and sit and have a coffee just to be out of the office for an hour, and I wasn't getting work done. The reason I'm here is not for myself. Mrs. Duraska, who's just a marvelous person, living in that big White House and puts out those roses that everybody enjoys, she has had an extensive amount of damage. She invited me over and showed me. And I've spoken to a couple of you, and I've been told that the device in the basement to sense damage or sense vibrations or whatever is not registering anything. I don't give a damn what the damn device says. I'm telling you, I saw cracks in her walls, I saw paint falling on the floor, and when I attempted to stand in the middle of her backyard and have a conversation with her, and the pounding began, we just said goodbye because we couldn't hear each other. Now, I have a proposal. Number one, I want to make something clear. I don't care who on past boards, who on current boards said what, voted what, I don't care. What I do say is this: the town of Riverhead is responsible for granting a building permit to use a method that caused that damage. The town of Riverhead, and only the town of Riverhead, has the authority to issue a certificate of occupancy through its building department. The town of Riverhead should not issue this certificate of occupancy until that construction company has made all the repairs to Mrs. Duraska's home, and I understand the church has also been damaged. Now, I don't want a single one of you to tell me that's going to be done. What I want is a resolution. I want a resolution where it's public record, you vote on it, and when the contractor shows up to get his CO, give him a copy of the resolution. Got it?
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Linda Nemeth, Calverton. I have a question about the raceway. Since it was purchased by new owners, I'm noticing horrendous amount more racing going on. I don't know what their hours are supposed to be, what their limitations are. But it used to be the occasional Sunday. Now, it's quite often on Sundays, and that means all day. I used to not be able to have guests come over on Saturdays. I understood that. That was accepted. Sunday, occasionally, fine. Now that's becoming more often. And last Wednesday, from 2 in the afternoon until 10 at night, racing and roaring was going on. I couldn't even hear myself. I had my windows closed and I couldn't hear inside my own home. I don't know what their legal standings are. I don't know if there is anything to stop them from doing this, but it's really...
You live in Calverton, you say?
Yeah, I'm in Calverton. I'm all the way back on Middle Road and in a community across from Foxwood. I've always heard the raceway on Saturday. That was never a problem, but it's becoming incessant. And I'd like to know what's going on because it's really an imposition on everybody who tries to have guests. You know, you buy in an area, you know what to expect. You know there's a raceway there. You know Saturdays are going to be raced. That's okay. But then it keeps going more and more. Another question.
We did notice the Wednesday they have 28 race days they're allowed
28
to.
days.
28 days that they're allowed to have race days, which has been the same for, how long has that been? For quite a
Since
few.
the 80s.
Since the 80s?
Since the 80s, the
It's
code was put in place, and they're allowed
on
maximum-
Wednesdays?
There's no
limitation on what day they can race. They are limited, however, to not more than 28 events for the season.
And they can go from 2 in the afternoon till 10 at night?
They have to conclude, their last race has to conclude by 10:45, or the start has to conclude by 10:45.
Okay. Another thing. I'm wondering what's happening. The Lavender Farm was such a welcome thing, welcome farm to see on Manor. And I noticed they were going to start to have a little stand, and then they were shut down because they didn't have permits. Can anybody tell me what's happening with that? It's just a small stand, and there's plenty of shoulder room for people to pull over on Manor. It's not like a raceway that, would be a dangerous road. Do you know what's happening?
I do not know what process the farm stand is in at this point. Again, if you want to leave your information, we can find that out for you, and we can answer your questions more thoroughly. But I don't have the details right now.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to driving by, because I take that road often and
Beautiful.
smelling the lavender,
I
but I
know.
don't even smell it yet, so maybe
Well.
they're just not ready to.
No,
or plant it.
they started to open the stand.
They planted, but.
But they opened the stand, but they were shut down because they didn't realize that in addition to that, they'd have to have another permit. So there's a new notice there that we had to close because there's no permit.
Okay, so it's probably posted.
Yeah, thank you.
Look into that and see if I can help them. Site plan for farm stand.
John McAuliffe for the Coalition Against EPCAL Housing. First of all, I think that there are a number of us in the room tonight and appreciate very much the decision by the board to push for a full financial accounting. It's a little bizarre to think that these people who are talking about potential hundreds of millions of dollars are not able to seriously provide the $50,000 to $100,000 to cover the accounting cost. It raises one more question about intentions. It's also notable that this essentially they are getting a free ride as opposed to earlier bids on the land where money came in up front that the town received when the project did not go through. I wanted to speak on behalf of the 61 people who so far have sent in a letter to the members of the board about putting in covenants to assure the use of the land. I think Mr. Wooten expressed the optimism that some people feel that what has been said and presented is what will be delivered. There are others of us who are more skeptical of that, who note that the Germasian company that now controls everything, their real forte is entertainment, retail, and gambling. The rumor continues to circulate about gambling as an end goal, and we would like to know whether the board is prepared to put into the final contract of sale a covenant that would bar any gaming or gambling on the site, not just for the immediate purchaser, but for any future purchasers. I don't know whether you wish to express opinions on that now or in some way.
I think that would be in a consultation with our attorney on the project, at what point we are in the contract. We've been told previously that unless both parties are interested in agreeable to change part of the contract, that is not what we are voting on for the qualified and eligible. The development plan and the contract is as stands. We certainly can ask the question again. I don't imagine that we're going to get a dissimilar answer to than what we've received previously when asked about changing the contracts, but we certainly can ask the question.
It could be done as a separate document, and the question would be, in your consideration of qualified and eligible, if they aren't willing to agree to that kind of additional statement, that may raise questions about what their ultimate goal is for the land that you should consider in the qualified and eligible process. So there still is, I think, an argument about whether what is being dealt with at this point is a locked-in contract or a contract that ultimately, since no deposit has been paid, there's no, the extent to which the town is obligated to a contract that was pushed through by town board in its last meeting, where two incumbent members were very clear as to its unacceptability, and two new members came in on the basis of its unacceptability. I think that contract is open to serious discussion if you actually do approve qualified and eligible. So.
Understood. Thank you.
Good evening. Phil Barbado, Jamesport. I'd just like to briefly talk about legacy. What will be the legacy of this town board? What will your grandchildren say? What will they ask you? What will the future residents ask you? Will you be known as the board that gave away 1,640 plus acres to a company known throughout North America for making money off taxpayers, perverting the local governing process, as we have plenty of examples of that, and rarely producing on even their vague promises to make life better for residents? They're only here because this is one of the sweetest deals in the country, in a town unprepared to deal with a company of this size and this character. Their promises would be laughable if there wasn't so much at stake. First of all, bring aviation back to Long Island? Why will they not commit to a timeline and put money up as a guarantee for some construction, for some jobs, for some activity there? Nothing. Why no commitment to pay taxes, create jobs, and not rely on public financing as they have in so many other places? Why is the project so vague that you could fly a plane through it? Sorry about the pun. And they refuse to make it more specific. Refuse to make it more specific. If this is such a great idea, ask yourself, why did Grumman leave 20 years ago? Can they make planes better somewhere else, cheaper? Was the situation better somewhere else? Bringing aviation back to Long Island, I'm sorry. Do you also, as far as the undevelopable portion, do you really believe that there are no plans for the 1,000 so-called undevelopable acres? The town wouldn't even be compensated if they were to be developed, and the entire site is still zoned planned development. So according to the town on the books, you could develop that. Oh, we're gonna rely on DEC to stop it? Good luck. There are many other things that some of my colleagues have brought to your attention, and some of the excellent reporting in local newspapers has brought to your attention, so I'm not gonna bore you with that again. You're welcome. But if you're fed up with how long this EPCAL negotiation has taken place, and you want to just end it here, like at least one of you does, or if you've been promised that this will be good for future elections in the near term, you really must take a deep breath and think over what the long-range impact of this deal is going to be. We'll be locked in to something that's so vague, and with a company that is proven to be manipulative and perverting of local government. They say, trust us. We're going to make your dreams come true. You need to hug and kiss us. They insult and demean our supervisor and our local town government, and this is just the beginning. They don't own it yet. Wait till they own it. Please, let's get real here, folks. This is something that's just, there's too much at stake here. Future residents will be saddled with the results of your decision if you approve this bad deal. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hi, Ellen Hoyle, Riverhead. I'd just like to make a comment on the discussion that was had. I'll be brief. First, I'd like to thank everybody for going on the record as to where their opinions are. This past weekend, I actually had to drive my niece to Nutley, New Jersey to take the ACT test. We had to stay overnight. We had to stay at the Hilton East Rutherford on the 12th floor, where I had a lovely view of a building which I will not name. I find it hard to believe that the owners of that size of a building that also own another mall, a mall in Canada, buildings in Nevada, are planning on building ones in Miami, do not have the resources to spend a mere $50,000 to $100,000 to have financial documents certified. I can't imagine that they don't have a penny in their pocket to shell out for that, and that they would rather strap the town with those finances. Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing nobody else for comment?
Move to adjourn.
Can I have a first and second to adjourn the town board meeting?
First?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Town board meeting adjourned.